Hi, my name's Eagle and I am a femboy. I'm an aspiring artist and a fashion designer for femboys. The first thing you're probably wondering is, what is a femboy? Well, as you can see from what I'm wearing, it's not the most masculine clothing. Some aspects of it are, and some aren't. But the whole point of being a femboy, or if you identify as a femboy, is it's a way for males or anyone who identifies as male to express their feminine side. One of the biggest questions that people ask is, well, how do I become a femboy? And the simple answer is, you just say, I am a femboy. Exploring femboy fashion for the first time can be quite scary, and it can be very nerve-wracking because you're most likely used to only expressing one side of your gender, and that's the side that you've been told that you are. If you are a boy, you'll have been saying, well, you're very masculine and you can express those side outwards. Or you're through a female, you'll say, well, you express your femininity outwardly. Being a femboy is not a strict label that you have to stick to, and it's not a label that anyone's imposing on you. It's something that you might discover it by accident, or you might think, oh, well, I'll try it and it might not work out for you and it might not feel right, and that's absolutely fine. One of the biggest myths I think that's out there though is that being a femboy is specifically for a type of person, and I think this is a really harmful misconception, that it is for very slim, naturally feminine shaped emo boys, to put it bluntly. And I think this is a terrible misconception, because I've met so many people who identify as femboys over my time and come in all shapes and sizes, or, you know, it's not like a goth subculture, or it's not like an emo subculture, and it's not even like a, you know, a grunge subculture or a hip hop or rave or anything. Every look that you can imagine that you think would work in a masculine and a feminine way coming together, then you can define that as femboy, and it's all about finding what's comfortable for you and expressing that. One of the questions that I get asked most, and it's probably the most asked question that I have, is when I dress in a more overtly feminine outfit, do I dress like that in public, and how do I deal with the public when I go out dressed like that? And the simple answer is yes, I dress like that in public. And do I have to deal with them? No. You have to remember that you are a part of the public when you go outside. You are a part of the collective people outside. You're not a separate entity, you're not in your own little bubble. And for the most part, the public are absolutely fine. Some people aren't gonna like it just naturally, and some people will like it. I've had compliments and I've had negativity my way, not outwardly, but I've had, you know, an off comment or a strange look, or some people just don't know what to make of it. And you have to accept that for a lot of people, seeing someone who they would say is their gender by looking at them dressing differently or acting differently, it's sad that it's 2014, but they're still gonna look at that and say, that's not right, I don't agree with it. But as long as you have a positive attitude outwardly, then for the most part you're gonna get a positive reaction back. For the most part, the public are absolutely great, and I honestly wouldn't worry about it. The second part of that same question, which I think is probably the most difficult for people, is how do you deal with family? How do I deal with coming out as a femboy? How do I go about telling people? And in my case, for me, it was a very slow process. I was experimenting for maybe 2 or 3 years with the fashion and the idea, and I didn't ever necessarily come out. And I think there's no need to come out and say, I am a femboy, world, look at me. I think you just have, and I know that you want to express it, I know there's that need to want to share yourself and be outward with it and say, I am a femboy, I found myself, it's great, you know, I want to share this with everyone because it's brilliant and I'm happier as a person. You can't be arrogant about it, and you can't force people to accept you. Humility is a virtue, and remember that by not causing conflict, you're the bigger person there.